who goes on, that type of thing.
All right, we are live. Let's give it a few minutes and see if anybody joins us.
Perfect. I'm gonna get you on my phone as well so that I can see it. And then that way we can see who's all coming on. I'm shocked Amy's not already on.
I don't know how that's going to work.
We actually already have a question. They just posted it on our previous post from David.
Ah, okay.
So that's
well, let's go ahead and get started. So, doctors Cotey and Amanda coming to you as promised. We are going to do some Q&A and we are going to do it live. And Dr. Amanda here she has her phone. She's logged on. She's going to monitor as people come on. And if anybody wants to ask questions live, we're going to address them right then and there. If not, what we do is we have a list here just from this past week of questions that our current patients have been asking us. So what do you want to go ahead and start with?
I think, honestly, the first thing we should start with was David. David's the first one that asked us a question, and he was asking about what are all the scoliosis signs that he's seeing around on 19? So that's a pretty good question to start off with.
That's definitely a good question. Do you want to address that or do you want me to?
Ooh, we shouldn't have our sound on, huh? Yes, I can address it. So what you guys are seeing around the area, especially on the weekends, is the scoliosis challenge signs. And the goal with the Pittsburgh scoliosis challenge signs are, one, if you already suffer from scoliosis, we want you to know, and once you get to the website and things, you're going to see really easily that there's more you can do when you have scoliosis and that your current life and symptoms is not how it has to be. We'll be posting some videos later on in this week about some testimonials with scoliosis and some really wonderful cases that we've seen completely change. Now, the other big thing with the scoliosis challenge, which we actually just had a family pop in, so that was fun, is we want to check kiddos. If you asked really what the goal would be, the biggest goal is that we check as many kids between the age of 5 and 18 for scoliosis. And what we can tell the parents within about 90 seconds is with an advanced scoliosis screening, are your kids already suffering from scoliosis and you don't know it? Are they perfectly fine? Or do they show us a predisposition to scoliosis? That way the parents are aware of possible looming pitfalls that are coming up in their child's future. Or if everything's good, they can have that peace of mind. So that's the biggest purpose. If you see the signs or you know of anybody, please go ahead and tell them about the challenge, and we'd love to get them checked.
What's next?
Alrighty, so hi Linda, Erin, Carrie's watching. Carrie, I'm excited to talk to you. I want to do a video with you actually about scoliosis. Jenny's on, so good to see you, Jen. The next question, no one's posted a question yet, so if you guys do have any questions that you guys are watching, post them real quick. I will get them right away. The biggest question that we were asked is in the office is, what is your morning workout? Many people know that I love CrossFit and OTF and Pilates and things like that, but Dr. Cody's kind of known for his at-home workouts, so why don't you take the lead on that one?
I can do that. So yes, Dr. Amanda and our workouts completely different. I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, and it's really neat. I have an accountability calendar I keep in my home gym, and totally random, but yesterday was the 100th day of the year, and I've noticed that I worked out 85 days out of 100. So that sounds kind of extreme, but the reality is my workouts aren't that hardcore. And what I mean by that, it's all about consistency and rhythms and rituals. And yes, every day at 4 in the morning, I'm down in my gym and I'm getting my workout in. So there's hardcore CrossFit, beating themselves up, killing every joint in their body.
Hey, be nice.
She hates when I say that. And that's not true about CrossFit. And then there's working out. And I'll be honest with you, most of my working out it's not even breaking a sweat. It's movement. It's getting muscle mass. It's strength. It's flexibility. I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. And you rotate. Like, I know you have, I think, 5. So you have set 5 workouts, you rotate through them, so you kind of know what to expect. It's not like you go down to our gym and just pick what you do the second you walk down, right? Can you talk to that just like a minute or two to help people with that and give them an idea?
Yes, absolutely. So when I go down there, I have 5 workouts, which I rotate through, and I kind of keep track. And one more thing I'll add, and again, it sounds hardcore. It's really not. It's just about managing your time. But I've joined Fit Body Boot Camp, which is local right here in Cranberry. It's a phenomenal place. I go there 3 days a week, and that's really where I push myself. And really, they're pushing me, and I get a massive sweat going. But ultimately, it's just about movement. So I do a lot of dumbbell work and strength training and just keep things going. Because yes, you do want to look good. You do want to feel good. Ultimately, I want my body functioning. Cardio-wise, muscle-wise, skeletal-wise. I just want to be fit.
Awesome. So we have a few live questions, so we'll get to them. And thank you, Jen, for yours. We'll definitely... We're in the right month that we can address it, and nobody's going to get in trouble.
So, real quick, these are the fun ones.
Yeah.
I know I'm jumping on you. These are fun because you put us right on the spot. And we're an open book. We preach that to anybody and everybody. We just tell it how it is. So let's hear it. I'm excited.
So Linda's will actually take an answer, but I want to address Jen's real quick. Jen says, what do your kids think about there being no Santa Claus? So yes, in our household, Allie is 6 now. Alex is 4.
Oh my gosh, that's Jen Druitt.
Yes.
Senior Master Sergeant Druitt is on here. That's wonderful.
So thanks for calling us out on that. Our 6-year-old does know that there's no such thing as Santa. However, that came about because we were having lots and lots of discussions about lying and, how important that is. And when she looks you in the eye as your child and says, Mom, Dad, is there really a Santa Claus? And we just talked about not lying. It was kind of hard not to. I don't even think I got to have a conversation with you about it. I told her. Yeah. I admitted it to her 100%. And it was just one of those things that I didn't feel like I could lie to her at that moment. So we turned it into, now Allie gets to be Santa for Alex. And it's been wonderful. Alex still loves Santa and is saying everything. And Allie is adorable because she runs around and says, Mom, like Santa, Santa has to get Alex this next year. So yes, it's a positive now.
Personally, I believe that 6-year-olds should believe in Santa. But hey, it is what it is. And she's a mature 6-year-old.
Yes. So Linda's question was, how do you treat scoliosis? Do you want to go on to that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole point of the migraine challenge, the scoliosis challenge.
That's in June.
That is in June. The whole point of the Pittsburgh scoliosis challenge is people, they just don't know what their options are. And the reality is our medical system, they do, hey, we'll keep an eye on it. And essentially what they're telling you is let's wait until it gets bad enough and then we'll do something about it. And the alternative is you wear those big bulky braces. And really what their goal is with those braces is to stop it from progressively worsen. So they're not even trying to fix it. And then ultimately it leads to surgery. So we have handfuls of patients who they have Harrington rods in their spine. And the unfortunate part is by the time they hit 30, 40, certainly 50 years old, they are miserable. So really our goal with the Pittsburgh Scoliosis Challenge is we want to screen as many families, as many kids as we can. Because if we can get our hands on a child who's 15, 16-year-old and younger, we can fix them. And we do a lot of pre and post x-rays where literally we've seen S-curves go straight as an arrow. So understanding that these kids, they're still growing, their muscles are still developing. So through specific chiropractic adjustments, through what we call spinal hygiene, which is essentially some physical therapy exercises that they're going to do on their own, you can ultimately change the musculoskeletal of children.
I'll add one thing in there, and I'm just thinking of Mike. Mike already has Harrington rods and literally is fused from T3? T4.
T4 down to L2.
Yes. So that is basically, do you mind turning?
I don't mind.
So that's basically from here all the way down to where he bends over. Mm-hmm. So it's just above his belt line that he is completely fused. Like it's impossible for it to move. And so now we work with him as well. So if you, so what happened? What is the
Or just
mason
getting
jar?
crazy questions.
So anyways, even somebody like that, if you know someone, we can help them. And if we can't, we'll let them know what they can do. But even someone who's already that severe with scoliosis and that far along, we've actually helped him live his life amazingly. So yes, let me get on to the questions. That's how we fix scoliosis. I did the same thing concerning Abby, Jen. So awesome, Jen. We're on the same page. Mm-hmm. You and I usually are. Jeff, is it Geeson?
Jeff Geeson, he is retired military. I did not realize that military was going to be stalking me into the civilian world. The funny thing about Jeff is he literally lives 2 houses down from our office. And so him and Jen, I think, are partnering up right now. So what does he want to know? What's in the mason jar you are always bringing to work? Well, that depends. Any given day, it could be anything. Typically, it's just water. And people think it's moonshine because it's in that mason jar. If it is just water, usually I put lemon or lime juice into it. But ultimately, it's what I call the green zinger. And that's the one that looks like swamp water. The good news is it doesn't taste like swamp water. Do you want to go ahead and tell these fine folks what's in our green zinger?
Sure. Well, we can also give them a header. We actually just did a video because so many people have asked us that question, and that's on my list, is what's in the chocolate bliss and what's in the green zinger. So in the green zinger is pear, apple, ginger, SP complete. Sometimes you can put in some protein, like a clean whey protein. It has lemon juice, lime juice, ice, avocado, and water, right? Oh, and pineapple. A little bit of pineapple just to take away that tart. And then just to bump into it, since it is one of our questions, is what's in the chocolate bliss? That is sometimes a banana, but not always. Chocolate SP complete, protein, sometimes peanut butter, cacao, coconut milk, ice, avocado. The avocado you're going to see in a lot of the smoothies that we do as a part of the recipe because it smooths it out and makes it really creamy, since we're not using like a thick whipping cream or something like that.
Yeah, so ultimately the benefit is you are taking like handfuls and you're packing the spinach in there.
Oh, in the green zinger.
Yeah, it's kind of
spinach.
a big deal.
Sorry.
So it's actually in both, the chocolate bliss, we call it, and the green zinger. And the point of it is you're getting more greens in that one drink than you possibly could in a week if you were to eat salads.
Yep. So one question we had that was messaged right to me was with Claire. Claire, you asked about what cereal we purchase for the girls at Whole Foods. And we really only do cereal once a day. I haven't told you yet, but today they had cereal. So you can't, we only let them do it one time a week. Otherwise they're eating like eggs and oatmeal or something like that. But that cereal is called Puffed Kamut. It's Kamut. And it's just simply, it looks like puffed rice, but Kamut is a pseudo grain. So there's no effect on the blood sugar with the girls. It's not very filling. Very, very bland, but they love it. And it comes in a bag. It's really reasonable. We doctor it up. Sometimes they want peanut butter. You make this more. Sometimes peanut butter, banana.
Mm-hmm. So typically, yeah, it's going to be peanut butter. Alex likes raisins every now and then. It's going to be bananas in there. That's pretty much it. They're pretty easy going. So Kamut, just to be straightforward, it's not what most Americans think is cereal.
Oh, no.
It's not a sugar bomb. It's not... It's got a different taste to it, but our kids don't know any better and they love it. And the reality is I enjoy it too. Once you get used to it, there's no going back.
No, and there's other things you can do with it too. Think of it, if you grew up with cereal, you want to think about it as being as bland as like a plain Rice Krispies. And even them, I think they used to put sugar in them. But it's literally plain. It's a little crunchy. You can make like cereal bars out of it and things like that. But again, yes, no sugar, no nothing on them at all. The girls love them.
And then ultimately, with the cereal, you're going to want to we use coconut milk. I mean, potentially you could use almond milk if need be, use goat milk. But the point is you're trying to avoid the dairy because they say that the latest and greatest, over 80% of Americans, they cannot even digest dairy. So that's why we're seeing so many digestive and gut issues here in America.
And for those of you who want to get into it, start looking into the difference between A1 beta casein and A2 beta casein. A1 beta casein is what you're getting from most cattle now. I think there's only 2 or 3 farms in the United States at all that have the original African bred cows that are A2 beta casein, which you can digest that milk. And we can get into different companies that carry those products, but that's something that we do like to have that availability to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So other questions. How much of the ingredients, when I make the shakes, they don't taste good? That's what I bought today.
Who said that? Who said
Claire.
that? Claire, you need to get to one of Doc's smoothie making classes. Although I should be teaching that because my smoothies are phenomenal.
Well, we do have a video. He did actually just have me video one in our kitchen. Yeah. So we have that video. We're just working on making sure, you crop out all the, what do I do? Where do I put this? And so we did make videos so you can see how much we're doing. And it's going to also depend because when we first started, I would say we added more pineapple and more pear and apple, and now we've really leaned it down, but we really enjoy that zing of the ginger. Jen, I believe, said, what does it do for you? Really, it's a great way for you to get some spinach in you. It's not a sugar bomb. When I do my smoothie workshops, everybody always thinks there needs to be 7 different types of fruit. And all they do, just like regular sugar, is you're going to get a spike of sugar, and then your blood glucose is going to crash, and you're not going to feel good with it at all. Mm-hmm. So we use them as ways to get really good ingredients in us in a good quantity, simple, easy, and truthfully fast is always the biggest thing for us.
Yeah, fiber. There's really no better way to get it, no cleaner way to get it than...
And most people don't eat ginger nowadays. Ginger is really rare for people to cook with or do much with, so it's a fun way to get it in, but it kind of wakes you up in the morning too. Sometimes I put a little too much in, and then it becomes a spicy zinger.
It's like a slap in the face. That's how... I'm pretty sure I coined that in the name of it with the zinger, because she made it once and it was just like, bam, good morning, hello.
And our rule of the smoothie is it doesn't matter what it tastes like, it's good for you, just drink it, because I'm not going to pitch it because everything's organic and healthy. So.
Some of them don't turn out, but typically we have our 2 go-tos, the chocolate bliss and the green zinger, and yeah, they are what they are. They're actually really good, but sometimes when we get creative, they're not always good. So looking at this last question, Marla there, I think that's a good one to end this on.
Perfect.
And how would you best describe the method of chiropractic care you give? Whenever I'm telling someone about how you're different and awesome.
Thanks, Marla.
It's hard for me to put into words that make sense. I can't read the rest
of it. To them. That's all it says.
Okay.
Yeah, to them.
Well, do you want to start with that, or would you like me to take her home?
Well, I'll start because I love talking. I would say that that's probably the most common question we get. I don't mind you taking over. I hear that a lot in the adjustatorium, that people get so frustrated, which I love. And Marla, you're one of those people where I know you care so much about other people that you're trying to find the right words to get them in. So I guess I don't have the answer because I feel like that's something you're always better at talking about. But I guess I'm just saying thank you for asking, because I forget. Probably once a shift I get asked that of I just don't know how to get them in. So I will let you take over, but...
Yeah, so let me just be straightforward and ultimate with this. So, you know what? A lot of my own profession does not like what I have to say about this. And the reality is that's fine, because 90% of my profession, they believe and they limit chiropractic care to neck pain and back pain. The reality is there's I believe it's 240 different chiropractic techniques, and this is just the way that you can adjust the spine, really. And ultimately, even though there's 240 different techniques, you can fit every single chiropractor on the planet in 3 different categories. And 90% of our profession, they are neck and back pain-based. They're pain-based chiropractors. And essentially what they're doing is say, hey, your back hurts, come on over, we'll slam you on the ground there, we'll give you an adjustment, a manipulation, whatever you want to call it nowadays. And their goal is to get you out of pain. Well, the reality is you're not going to die from neck pain or back pain. So that's the good news. Now, to me, why I feel that's so limiting is because it's no different than popping a pill, taking the aspirin, the Tylenol, what other weird ones I have out there. But the point is, all they're doing is chasing symptoms. And I say that's limiting because if you truly, wholeheartedly understand how the body works, chiropractic has nothing to do with neck pain and back pain. It has everything to do with how your body functions. Your spine has 2 purposes. Number 1, it supports and holds us upright. That's your posture. You can tell a lot about somebody's health based on their posture. And then second, and most important thing, is your spine protects your spinal cord. Your spinal cord is your lifeline. If you want to function the way your body is designed to, you need to function. So if your spine is distorted, we talked about scoliosis earlier, you have subluxations, you have interference blocking the energy from the brain through the spine to all your major organs, all your glands, all your muscles, you're not going to function the way you're designed to. So 90% of us, we're pain-based. Very limiting. It makes me want to go, bleh. The other 10% of us, we're wellness-based. We understand that chiropractic is a lifestyle. Of course you need to eat good. Of course you need to work out. You have to do lots of things to be healthy. So we preach the core four, which is function, food, fitness, and fun. And then lastly, in that 10% of chiropractors, there's 2% of us that do corrective care chiropractic. We want to locate that problem. Where are you subluxated? And we want to get in there and we want to blitz that problem. Your body thinks that that's normal. We want to break that pattern. We want to correct it so that you can live life to your fullest potential. So I believe that was a wonderful question, Marla, and I believe I could talk for it about the next 2 days straight. And I'm hoping that was a good answer. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
I'm looking at our question. How would you best describe? So the only thing I would bring in is let's do specifics, because you talked a lot about it, but like let's hit the nail on the head. I would say the specifics are, we are specific. That's a very large pride standpoint for Gonstead doctors. Gonstead is the type of technique we do. We are known for being specific, full spine adjusting. So we are specific. We use our hands, which means a manual adjustment. Marla, you know that, but the specific is that I can feel when your body relaxes and I can feel when you're not. And that's very different than a machine giving an adjustment or a manipulation. So specific. We also use a scope. Actually, I have it right here. So this scope is called a nervous scope, and it's handheld thermography. So I think some of the differences you could bring up is just talking about those unique aspects. We have an objective way to measure the nervous system to know if it's functioning or not. We don't guess. We don't have you come in and say, oh, I have low back pain. Okay, I guess you're getting a low back adjustment. It's wherever this actually tells us there's a problem. This is how we can tell for sure, thermography-wise, is your body functioning appropriately or not? So those are some differences. And then, of course, I would refer them to a workshop so they can just come check us out with no obligation, learn who we are, how we think. Do they even think they like us, or do they think we're crazies? But they get a good idea of who we are if they come to a Wednesday workshop. I know you said last question. I want to address one thing real quick. Jen asked, what are your thoughts on seeing small children? And although we can talk heavily on that, Jen, I don't know much about you personally. I've heard your name quite a bit though. So, and it was fun meeting you this past weekend. With children, the answer is, I personally, and I know this is going to take a really hard stance, I personally believe that every single child, it's a fantasy of ours, that every child be checked as soon as they're born for subluxations. And if somebody understands what we're doing here in this practice or what chiropractic's really about, I think it's a complete state of ignorance not to take your child to a chiropractor. Over my dead body will my kids never get adjusted. I mean, I can't even imagine it.
Thanks a lot, Jen. You got her all worked up. You got her all worked up.
So the answer is yes, they need to be seen, they need to be checked, and they also, though, need to be seen by someone who's a pediatric specialty. You can't go to a chiro who doesn't adjust kids at all. In our office, I don't think you can come and not see children playing. That's a specialty. So if you do end up having your kids checked, anybody who watches this, make sure it's somebody who knows what they're doing with children, and that's a specialty of theirs.
Absolutely. It's like a freaking daycare in our office after school. But we are called Family Chiropractic for a reason. We see a ton of families. We see a ton of kiddos. And yes, remember, it has nothing to do with neck pain and back pain. So although most kids are young, they're vibrant, they look good, they feel good, their life as a kid's pretty darn good. The point is, we're seeing, are they functioning to the best of their ability? Because a lot of the issues that we see as an adult, they don't happen overnight. They started when you're a child. So if a child is active, they're playing sports, they are beating their bodies up, you have to take care of them.
That's a good analogy. I forgot about that. Just a lot of the things we see.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you guys have anything else, go ahead and message us. We will respond in the comments. Not a problem at all. or on one of our other posts. We have Amanda and Heather monitoring those all the time. And next week, I was already text messaged, we want to know your morning routines. So we will definitely do that next week. We'll start off with what are our morning routines, and we can just kind of maybe divide it. Like, this is what you do and this is what I do, because we don't do the same thing. We can do the whys behind it, and then who knows where it'll go. Maybe we'll talk about the Easter Bunny.
Maybe we'll get in our evening routine. How does that sound?
I don't need to go there yet. All right, guys.
Hey, lots of fun. I appreciate the questions. We'll see you next week.
Bye.